At 15, I was almost 2 metres tall and weighed 100 kilos. My loving parents said that I had big bones, but I knew that I was fat. I felt huge towering over all my classmates, especially the boys. And I thought that I'd never have a boyfriend again and would end my days as a chocolate munching grey-haired spinster. It always astounded me how easy it was to put on weight and how hard it was to take it off. Everyone said I had a beautiful face, and I found that so condescending. But I did have a beautiful face, and I got my high cheekbones from my Estonian father. I got my nose from my mother, my lips from my dad, and my almond-shaped eyes from my mum. And they all came together quite nicely. And I was always very happy to look at myself in the mirror and do my makeup, which wasn't a lot in those days, but perhaps a bit of eyeliner and a bit of blush and always some lipstick. And that's pretty much all I do these days. But I never saw myself as quite as beautiful as all the slimmer, smaller people, or girls, particularly the girls in my class. I couldn't see my beauty clearly through the envy that I had for others. And thankfully, I've learned a lot about not doing that in my older years. Toward the end of year 10, when I was probably at the heaviest I'd been in my teenage life, my beautiful mother came to me and she said that if I went on a diet with her and if I lost a certain amount of weight, that she would give me this really beautiful silver-topped bottle of Avon perfume. Mum was an Avon lady at the time, and I lusted over this gorgeous perfume, cream it was, in a clear bottle with a very ornate silver top. She didn't have to go far because she didn't have to lose much, but by the end of the school year, I'd lost 10 kilos, and I just thought that was amazing. Mum made me do it slowly but steadily. I didn't starve. She made me beautiful, nutritious meals. And to this very day, I just love having lamb chops with this gorgeous combination of tomato and onion that Mum used to just do in a pot on the top of the stove with no butter or oil. One day, toward the end of the school year, I was walking down the driveway at school with my best friend Claire. One of the boys pulled up beside me in his car. His name was Peter. He was in year 11 and he was a senior. This was a big deal. And Peter was someone that I really had a crush on. He had beautiful dark wavy hair. He had these incredible blue-green eyes. He had a little swagger in his walk, and he was one of the football players in the first grade team, someone I thought would never be interested in me, but one could dream. And he said, "Hey, Michelle, how are you?" I said, "I'm terrific, thank you." And he said, "Can I give you a lift home?" "You too, Claire." And my bestie Claire and I looked at each other and we shrugged our shoulders and sort of rolled our eyes at one another thinking, what's going on? So he said to me, "You sit in the front, Michelle." And I went, "Oh, okay." And he said, "You're looking great. What are you doing?" And so I shyly explained to him that I was watching my food and I didn't want to say anymore, "Not I'm on a diet, and I hate my body." I wasn't going there. He asked if he could help me to get fitter by taking me for walks every evening after dinner. I thought, this is strange. But he lived just around the corner and he explained that after studying and dinner, he really liked to get out and go for a walk himself at night, and there'd be no trouble to come around the corner and pick me up and take me for a walk. And I thought, oh, okay, but really didn't expect him to come. But he did, and away we went, and we walked for about an hour every evening, and it was lovely being out, chatting, walking under the stars. He would still come during the school holidays, and we would sometimes go to the cinema together. We would go on a picnic. We just did lots of lovely things, and our relationship was blossoming. We went back to school when I became a senior in year 11 and he was a senior in year 12. I went back looking fantastic, but nobody recognised me. That's how much weight I had lost. And I suppose I had a new spring in my step because of the relationship. But he avoided me at school. And it was because the boys in the football team had known that we were seeing each other and they were teasing him. And they were still calling me Tubby, which was a very nasty, cutting name that they'd given me when I was rather large. I was very upset by that. He didn't even sit with me at lunch. So it got to a point where I said to him, I don't like that. I just expected so much more from you. I really didn't think that you were a sheep. He apologised, but he said it was really hard with those boys because he said, you know how bad they can be. I said, I do, but you've got to stick up. You've got to do the right thing. You know, what do you want? Do you want to be with boys or do you want to be with me? We didn't talk for about 2 weeks until Maya, my dear friend, she announced that she was going to have a party at her parents' place who were going away for the weekend and that the whole year was invited. And Peter rang me and he said, I'd like to take you to the party. And I said, I think that'd be lovely. Thank you very much. So I made sure that I looked really good that night. My hair was long and I had some new earrings and a necklace Mum and Dad had given me for Christmas. And of course, I was wearing my perfume. And when we arrived, it was in absolute full swing. And the big drinks at the time were beer and Bacardi. I really couldn't stand Bacardi and Coke, but I drank it anyway. All the footballers were in one corner, and Stolzy, who was just the meanest of them all, he started chanting Tubby as we were walking into the party. Anyway, all the other boys turned around and they saw Peter and I, and they stopped in their tracks because they just couldn't believe how good and how well and how beautiful I looked. So Peter steered me over to the group and he said to the boys, this is my girlfriend, Michelle. And he walked up to Stolz and he said, mate, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Show some respect. And that was the end of that part of our story.